Hello everybody, welcome to this week's teaching video for the 1st of December. This week we're starting our Advent series since it is Christmas time. So we're going to be doing a theme called Watching and Waiting. Over the next 4 weeks before Christmas, we will look at the birth of Jesus through the eyes of the people who were watching and waiting for the Messiah to come. This week we are looking at Zechariah and Elizabeth and the birth of John the Baptist for our first week. So our memory verse for today is Luke 1 verse 76. And you, my little son, will be called the prophet of the Most High, because you will prepare the way of the Lord. So obviously it's Advent, we're getting ready for Jesus to come. We're going to start by looking at Zechariah and Elizabeth, who had a son who prepared the way of the Lord. John's purpose was to get the people ready for Jesus coming, and in Luke this is where the story starts off. So we're going to start at the very beginning, even before Jesus is born. We're going to look at John. So with all of the groups, from the youngest to the oldest, let's just provide some context. So obviously Jesus is born at the beginning of the New Testament. We've had this, the Old Testament, the whole first section of the Bible, hundreds of years and prophecies, God promising his people, the Israelites, that he will save them, that he will send a Messiah, that there will be a king above all kings. This is who they were waiting for, and who we believe to be Jesus. So with the older group of like Trailblazers age, so like year 3 and up, year 4 and up, you can watch a video on your USB stick.
They kept looking for him, watching and waiting, hoping to see what the scriptures had promised.
That's just a really nice video that gives some context from the Old Testament. It's from the My Biggest Story Bible, and it's a really nice video, so you guys can do that. With the younger ones, maybe you guys can just discuss, and say with Consecrate. And then we will get into reading about Zechariah and Elizabeth. So for the younger groups, you guys are going to read from My Big Story Bible, Zechariah and the angel, and then after reading that story, it kind of ends on the note of when Zechariah sings a song talking about John the Baptist, and then you can use, I'll send this in your teaching note, I can't remember it, Jesus Storybook Bible, like has its first page about John, has this little song and a little bit about John, so you can read from My Big Story and then maybe read this little song, the prophetic prayer out to them as well. So that will be in your teaching notes. And with the older kids group, you guys, and with Consecrate, you guys are going to read from the book of Luke. So you're going to be now Luke 1 is quite a big chapter, and it kind of starts with Zechariah and Elizabeth, then goes to Mary, then Elizabeth and Mary, then back to Elizabeth. So let's just read the parts that talk about Zechariah and Elizabeth and John being born, because we'll talk about Mary next week. So maybe as you're reading that out with the children, just keep an eye on what you're reading, because it's quite a big chapter, so we don't want to lose them. We want to focus on Zechariah and Elizabeth, but also put in the little part about Elizabeth meeting Mary, and when she's filled with the Holy Spirit, and John inside of her reacts to seeing Jesus and Mary. We'll read that story and then talk about what happens with Zechariah and Elizabeth. Did the children or young people know that actually someone else was visited by an angel saying they would have a son, miraculous son, before Joseph and Mary? And then we want to talk a little bit about John. So the baby that they had was John, and he would be special. He was actually Jesus' cousin, and we know that he would then grow up to prepare the way for Jesus. And with Consecrate, you guys are going to use something a little bit different to soap and called stars, and it explains it in your teaching notes. And then have a discussion about, do we live like John? Do we point to Jesus in all we do? You could go there a little bit with the older kids if you have time, still have their attention span, but we just want to mainly look at the story and talk a little bit about John the Baptist and how he was special and had a purpose in preparing the way for Jesus. And then next week we will move on to looking at Jesus' coming. I believe that is everything. So you've got the book, the video for the older group, the little song for the younger ones, and then you can just read that from the Bible for the older groups. And for song, we've got some carols this morning on your USB stick, so you could sing Hark the Herald or O Come Emmanuel. You can use any of them that you like. Now for craft, we are going to be making these little hanging angels. So we have made these before, so you might have seen them. Everyone will get a piece of paper with instructions and this circle to cut out. So once you've cut it out, I'm going to try and show you. I've linked in the email Dave's tutorial, which is going to be a lot better than this. But once you cut it out, you need to cut in all of the lines, and then you basically fold the bit where it's cut in half. You fold it back and you kind of twist it and turn it so it goes together somehow like that. But as I say, and then you need to tape it and then stick a little thing to it, and then you can decorate colouring. But maybe watch Dave's tutorial, because that's probably much better than what I've just done. So you can make those angels. And then there's a little colouring of, like, this is John the Baptist once he's grown up. So obviously he's preparing the way for the Lord, telling people about Jesus. And then another colouring, which the older group will recognise from the video they're going to watch. I think this is supposed to be Mary, but we're going to pretend it's Elizabeth for today. And yeah, that's it for craft. Games, you could play Wise Man Wiggle. This was a game from last week. I'll put the instructions in your teaching notes, but it's basically you can pick some Christmassy nativity actions, you know, like Jesus being born or the wise men or the shepherds, and then play music, and then when you pause it you shout out an action, and they've all got a rush to do that action and the last person's out. Basically like musical statues, but Christmas version. And yeah, hopefully over the next few weeks we have our Christmas party on Sunday, so once that's out of the way, maybe we'll add some more games in there. But we are busy preparing for our Christmas party, which is this Sunday. So please remind the children to come to the party. It's 3 till 5 at Kingdom Faith Horsham. And we also have new parent buzzers for this week. So Dave has put in there, obviously, the memory verses for the next our Advent series, the United and the Crawley youth group Christmas party dates, Christmas party info, music, everything everyone needs to know Christmas related, including about the Jesse Tree Advent activity books or Advent devotional books that Dave and Andrew have been busy making, and they are really good. Really excited for them to come in time, hopefully, for the party, and to give those out over Christmas to all of the families in the church. They can have an Advent devotional that takes them through the Bible. Yeah, we just want to encourage the families that this is a resource, this is something they can do together, and encourage their children to be reading their Bible every day as a family. It's a really good resource. So we will be sending some of those to you as well when they arrive. I believe that is everything. I hope you have a great week, and please let me know if you have any questions or carol suggestions or Christmas game suggestions, and have a great week, and hopefully see you at the party. Bye.